Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. So, in coming up with topics for prepping videos, I wrote out, a list of videos that I would like to make based off of, gear that I have. I'm working on the next 10 items for $10 from Dollar Tree right now. And so I've got this giant list, and the one that I decided to pick today will probably be a reoccurring video, and it's just 10 items that I picked up. One of them being a bigger ticket item than the rest. So you can kind of count out the one, but the others, I generally, when I go to the store and I'm getting groceries for the week, I try to dedicate $10 to $15, give or take, to picking up a little bit of prepping stuff. So these are, the whole point of this video is a lot of preppers get to the point where they feel like they've plateaued. They've hit the point where they have a month's of water stored up. They have half a year of food stored up. They have, 1,000 rounds for their main rifle. And they just hear preppers say, you never have enough. It's a resource of war. You should always be, buying things, food, water, ammo. And so today's video, I'm just going to show the 10 things that I picked up. Um, 9 of them being they were picked up this morning when I went to the grocery store. And one of them I picked up at the very January 29th, 30th. I don't remember. I went to a gun show. Um, and it's just like hey, maybe I have kind of slacked off on some of those items. These 10 items, they're all prepping items. Some of them are used every day. Some of them kind of sit on the shelf and become part of the stockpile. So if you like this idea of a video where I just talk about 10 items that I picked up, you know, showing you that I'm still trucking along as a prepper, then like the video. And share with your friends or family if they're lacking some of these items, and that maybe this video of, a 23-year-old senior in college, so limited budget, see what he's doing to continue to prepare for, a disaster. So the big ticket item is the upper receiver that I put on my AR lower. I had the BSA scope. It's a 9 by 40 times. I originally bought it and had it on my 1022. And I was looking at getting a Vortex, but I realized I didn't have the scope on anything, and it worked out great. This is a 300 blackout upper. I strictly went to the gun show with a limited budget because of COVID and bills and stuff. So I couldn't buy a full-on firearm, but I could definitely get an accessory. So for the longest time, I've had this upper, chambered in 5.56, just a standard carbine with a quad rail, and a Sig Sauer Romanov 5. Yeah, Romanov 5. Or Romeo, not Romanov. Romeo 5 sight. I love the sight. I have the backup flip up sights on it, but I wanted something with a little more oomph, put a little bit more weight behind a round. And I have purchased another lower. I'm waiting for it to come in so I could have 2 complete rifles. But as of right now, I just threw it on the lower that I have now. And ammo was really scarce, so I did only pick up 40 rounds. These were the subsonic Hornady rounds. So subsonic for 300 blackout is normally the heavier grain rounds. And so I think these were 190, maybe 200. I don't remember the grain, but a massive round weight difference. Maybe when I get a little bit more ammo, I'll go shooting and do comparatives, shooting cinder blocks and bricks and stuff like that, because I want to do more shooting videos for my prepping videos. But that was the big purchase item. Like I said, another lower is coming in. I'm doing this one completely from scratch, and so I can take my time, and instead of $200, $300, everything's already on there. I can take the time and get something better than the standard A2 charging handle. I can put a better trigger in it. And so I couldn't buy a whole 300 blackout completely decked out the way I want it. So that was a big item. As a prepper, lots of them love to talk about the firearms and the ammo part and the surviving a zombie apocalypse, that kind of thing. So that gets your dopamine flowing. And now I'm going to reach behind me, pick up the other 10 items, and just kind of explain why I picked it up and, show you that every prepper, whether you've been prepping for 1 week or 20 years, all these items you'd probably still pick up on your daily trips. And it's just like anything else, investing in the stock market, saving for retirement. It's not, you've got one really big year that you go out and do everything you need and you're already set and done. It's $20 here, $100 there, $5 a week. You'd be surprised how the things just kind of fill up a closet, start to fill up a room, and that kind of thing. So, probably the most expensive thing I have over here is it's a 12 pack of, they're either pint or quart. 12 pack of quart mason jars. I normally like getting the half gallon. Get that out of the way. I really like getting the half gallon ones. This is what I normally grab, but they didn't have any, and I felt like I needed more mason jars. So that will allow me to the little bit of food that I'm picking up here and there, because I don't always get to buy a 50-pound bag of rice. Sometimes it's only a 10-pound. And I can slowly fill up mason jars, and then every so often really splurge, get the 5-gallon buckets, the Mylar bags, and the big 50-pound bags of, rice, flour, sugar, big oak containers. So that doesn't get filled up all the time. So mason jars is a really good way to go. 5-gallon bucket, you fill it up, you get it out of the way. Half gallon, you might be using that more on the monthly cycle. And then ever so often I do get little pint-sized jars, and I don't know the size of this, but this sugar I put in these when I was 15. I stuck them in, I froze the sugar to kill microorganisms and bugs, and then stuffed them in here. So this one's sugar, and this one's salt. And this was, some of the first prepping that I ever did thanks to The Walking Dead. Back when I was 15 and maybe only had $50 spending money for an entire month. So it's good to get different size containers because, like, we run out of sugar downstairs. It's a lot easier to grab this than a pint. It's easier to grab a pint than a quart, half gallon, 5-gallon bucket. 5-gallon bucket stuff will not get opened until I can't buy stuff off the shelf or I've been jobless for several years. I don't know. The next thing, they had some Clorox wipes in stock. I picked up a container of Clorox wipes. Something's on the leg. These might not strictly go straight into preps. They might end up be for daily use, but for now, they're tucked away in the prepping closet. If the fiance says, oh no, we're out of disinfectant wipes, I can come grab them and just kind of keep a mental note of what I grabbed. Picked up another jar of peanut butter. Now I have 5 sitting up here on this shelf. One of them should be getting pretty close to time to go downstairs and keep the rotation going on it. Next thing I picked up was a 16-pack, 10-year of power guaranteed AAA battery. A lot of my headlights and some of my smaller flashlights use AAA. The dollar flashlights you get from Walmart. They take 3 AAA batteries inside the little container. And so 16 AAAs, you never know when we're going to need batteries. and with a guaranteed 10-year power, these will probably get used up before they hit the 10-year mark, but batteries are pretty expensive, and it's good to every once in a while pick some up and put them away. Next thing I picked up, I think it was $1.50, is a 250 count of just good old fashioned strike on box matches. Having multiple backups to backups, I'd probably have a few thousand matches, um, several dozen lighters. I mean, I'm the person that asks everyone for their matches out of their MREs when we eat them, go to the field and stuff like that. I anything free, kind of going off on a little tangent, I hold on to that stuff. A lot of the battle buddies throw away stuff or want to throw away stuff, and it's gotten to the point where they know I'll take it all. And so the crackers might be awful, but I got a few dozen packets of those sitting around. Next thing I picked up, another tube of toothpaste. The one I have downstairs, about half full. I've got toothpaste in a container somewhere, but I was kind of reorganizing and I bought more containers to be able to separate hygiene from different types of food and stuff. And so I couldn't really find another thing. Maybe I used it and forgot to grab another one, but toothpaste is very important for preventing cavities. Next thing I picked up was, a Mountain House meal. They go bad January 2050. This one is the cheapest for the most calories, and it's the biscuits and gravy. Probably my favorite Mountain House of all times, mainly because I like biscuits and gravy in general. But with a 25-year shelf life, if I were to eat this, on year 25, the biggest thing about foods that have a 25 plus year shelf life is, this is a meal that I've purchased at the latest date I can eat is when I'm 48. And when I'm 48, this single packet of Mountain House could be $20, could be $30. You never know with inflation. And so long-term food storage isn't just good for, eating and staying alive and, having a sense of security and insurance. It's another form of, a hedge against inflation. So, I don't know how cheap rice was when I first put away, this jar was also put away at the same time as that sugar. So 15, 16. I don't know how much rice was back then, but I'm pretty sure it's gone up. Let's see. 2 more items left. I got another thing of powdered milk. So this needs... So I don't want to freeze it because I've heard kind of bad things about it. That's one of the methods of killing, bug eggs and, microorganisms that could taint the food. So I don't know if I want to do I think a 5-gallon bucket would be insane for this, unless it was inside 1 gallon Mylar bag instead of 5-gallon or even half-gallon. But this bag is good in this container until nearly the end of 2021, and this will make 1 gallon of milk. And if stored properly with an oxygen absorber and a Mylar bag, 25-year shelf life, and I can eat cereal. Milk's got, a lot of calcium. I don't want to read that, but, the importance of milk. If you don't have a milking cow or goats to get milk, a lot of people drink milk. It's a pretty big part of diets. And storing away a ton of powdered milk that, cool water, it's not quite refrigerated, cold level of milk. You're still getting calories, you're still getting the nutrients from it. And if you're someone that doesn't have the ability to get fresh milk, it gives you the time to develop a relationship with someone that has that good to offer. So that's important. And the last prep, which some of you might not totally understand, is a $20 box of Magic the Gathering cards. I have way too many of these, but a new set just came out, so it is a hobby of mine as well. Um, and the entire point of this is, the state of boarded, being bored, um, boredism. I don't know if that's a word or not. My grandma would correct me pretty quickly though. But being bored, my mom used to always say, um, boys that don't have anything to do will find something to do. And normally, if they don't have something constructive to do, homework, reading, extracurricular activities, then normally the things they find to do is, getting into mischief, getting into trouble. The other thing is just, having, fun, a sense of, normal life. Because as a prepper, if the power went out, you don't get to play your video games, you don't get to watch TV. This is something physical, doesn't require electricity. It's a huge entertainment factor. Me and my fiance, we play Magic together. Uh, Now it's, a couple times a month. There was at one point where we were playing every night. But if we didn't have Grey's Anatomy to watch, if we didn't have, the prepping channels to watch on YouTube, then that, along with board games, is a really big go-to. Um, Plus, as a prepper, you know, we tend to write off a lot of things as, oh, that's required, we need it because we're prepping. And as someone that enjoys playing Magic, I know how expensive it can get. Um, this I can write off in my head as, oh, I need this. Not because it's fun and I'm addicted to a card game, but because when the world goes to crap, I will still have a form of entertainment that doesn't require solar panels or a gasoline generator or, you know, an internet connection. So I can write this kind of stuff off in my head as a prepper. And that's 10 items. I've been talking for way too long, but like I said, the point of this video is to just show that I'm still, it's a resource game. It's, in the end, it is your stuff and your knowledge and your skill versus someone else's stuff, knowledge, and, skills. It's a giant resource war. You have stuff, other people don't have stuff, they want it. You have stuff, other people have stuff, you can mutually agree to trade some of it. Um, you get your stuff from a shelf with a fiat currency. The fiat currency loses value, the stuff on the shelves disappear, and what you have is what you have. There's a becoming self-reliant is a little bit different because what you have you can multiply, and your skills is being able to store it properly. It's a huge, it's a never-ending challenge for preppers. You can prep for 1 year and feel like and probably definitely know you don't have enough stuff, and you could prep for 80 years of your life and, you know, go to the store, you don't know you're going to die that night, and buy more stuff for that just in case scenario. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please consider subscribing. If you feel like this video, not really on the educational side, kind of, um, not really entertainment, it's more of just an update. It should be a mental boost and a physical boost, seeing, you know, it's not a short sprint, it's a marathon that you have to, put in the effort and the drive the whole 26 miles. You don't get to run 100 meters and go home and feel good. So let your friends and family know about this video for the sole purpose of maybe it will motivate them to, they started walking during the marathon and now they start jogging. Catch you in the next one.